think the PR links do really help these days to build a kind of a topical and a geo-relevancy signals?
Meaning you're getting reviews regularly, you're adding posts regularly, you're adding photos, you're getting customers to add photos and videos.
How they can go and increase the geo and prominence signals you reckon for their profile.
And then we added some more categories and services and we saw an increase in impressions. So
particular kind of a strategy which you tried and you think like it's really worked for you?
It's not very complicated to optimize your Google business profile.
Yep. Do you think like for multi-location when it comes to, because a lot of, I know a lot of dentists, roofers, they usually have a lot of location. Hello and welcome to the Agency Growth Lab, and I'm your host Rohindu, and today we are thrilled to have a very special guest joining us. Andrew Shotland from SEO, localseoguide.com, and a renowned expert in digital marketing and SEO is here to share his insights and experiences with us. So yeah, welcome to the show, Andrew. How are you?
I'm fine. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's a privilege to have you up here, Andrew. So all right, so Andrew, I mean, like just quickly, can you actually get us to know about your technical background? How did you get started in SEO?
Oh my God, it's a long,
It
crazy
is a
story.
long. Yeah, I was checking in like 16 years you've been running this SEO, local SEO.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is a long
I'll
journey.
try to give you the very short version if there is
Yeah.
one. So I've been doing internet stuff forever. In 1993 I helped launch Showtime Network's website. They're like a cable channel in the States.
Yeah.
Then I moved to NBC, which is the big broadcast network that does the Olympics in the States. I ran NBC.com back when it was weird to see URLs on TV. In 2003, I helped start a company called Insider Pages, which was an early version of Yelp. And that's where I learned about SEO. I had no idea what it was. I hired some guy who helped us, basically taught me things like update your title tags, which is a really basic thing in SEO. And we ended up growing our organic traffic like crazy. We went from almost nobody to about 5 million users a month in less than a year. That allowed us to raise money from Sequoia Capital and SoftBank Capital. We raised about $8 million. And then that allowed us to hire a bunch of people. We hired a head of marketing who decided to redesign the website. I didn't know what I didn't know about SEO. And the day we launched it, we lost all of our traffic because of a technical problem that I could probably identify in about 30 seconds today. But at the time, I had no clue. The guy I hired probably had about 1,000 clients at the time, so I couldn't get in touch with him. Long story short, we ended up selling the company to City Search, and I got fired. The day I got fired, I happened to be having drinks with the head of the Los Angeles Times website, latimes.com. He was all excited because he just got approval to redesign his website. And I said, hey, what's your SEO plan? And he was like, what are you talking about, dude? And so I said, well, let me tell you what happened to me today. And I told him this story. And he freaked out and said, hey, can I hire you to do some consulting? And I was like, sure, I don't have anything else to do. And it must have been right place, right time. And I had a decent network. Suddenly people started contacting me and saying, hey, I hear you're doing SEO consulting. Can we hire you? And within a month, I had like 3 clients. Within 2 months, I had like 6 clients. Within 3 months, I had like 10 clients. And at some point, my wife said, hey, are you gonna go get a job? And I was like, I think I have one. And that was over 18 years ago. And here I am on your podcast.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine like lots have been changed in the last 18 years into the thing, and that's something I really want to know. Like the time when you get started, a lot of things has been probably changed. So how your SEOs and kind of thing has been evolved over the time? Is that your
So I think
a continuous
I
battle,
think when
new stuff,
I first started, it was easier, meaning there were fewer. It was kind of similar, but there were fewer businesses actively investing in it. So like at Insider Pages, we just did a few things right and we got 5 million uniques a month. I don't think that same tactic that I had when we had 18 years ago would work now or be as successful because there's 500,000 sites deploying the similar tactics, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's much more competition, and Google's getting harder and trickier. So I think we have evolved from, hey, we're going to get you more Google traffic, almost to more like business strategy consultants. I don't want to oversell that, but we're kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll get you more Google traffic, but we're really going to help you think through, where else can you get traffic like this, right? What else can you do with your business to grow it that can benefit SEO? And it's different for every company. As an example, I'm sure you've been following the news that Reddit is significant, is all over the search results now in the States and probably all over the world. And so maybe your company needs a Reddit strategy, right? Because that's where a lot of your customers are now. So I think we're evolving from spending 99% of our time on Google to more like, where are the other organic traffic opportunities for you where your customers are?
So yeah,
Something like
Reddit
that.
is the one, Cura is the one. Recently, I was trying to do some testing on Pinterest, and Pinterest was bringing in a lot of kind of genuine traffic as well. So yeah, definitely, this is something the SEOs have to start thinking outside the box, that what else they can actually do to bring in the consistent amount of traffic for their clients.
And it's tricky for agencies and consultants because whereas it used to be just all about Google,
Yeah, all the
now
time.
I've got to think, okay, do I know how to, let's say I'm working with a roofer, do I know how to navigate the forums and places where people look for roofers? Like
Yes.
I have to figure that out, right? And now someone like us who works for roofers and dentists and lawyers and anyone, like, that's a lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, I was checking in your LinkedIn profile, and I got to know like you prefer to work with the multi-location brands. So what kind of challenges is something you have faced working with the multi-location brands? And there is a reason why I'm asking that. I've worked a lot I've worked in India with the Clove Dental. I've worked with some other multi-location brands as well, the local giants in India too. And I've seen the biggest problem, or maybe it was me, my agency, we faced that, getting the on-page kind of things done on their pages, because there is a lot of managerial things, approvals and everything you need to take it to make even a single kind of a change in their web pages. So they believe like, hey, whatever you want to do with the backlinks and whatever, I mean, like the off-page stuff, you do it, but we need to go down the chain to get all the different kind of approvals for the on-page. You know what I mean? So is it something you have faced such kind of a situations as well, where you want to make the changes, but the approvals doesn't let you go ahead?
Yeah, I think it's not just on page, it's everything with a
It's
multi-location brand.
GBP.
It's just a more complicated organization.
Yes.
It's bigger by definition,
Yeah.
and more people and more process and more rules and constraints. So yeah,
How do you manage that?
we have one client we've been working with for 10 years, at
Yeah.
least 10 years. One of the biggest companies in the States, in the world, kind of. And there's a problem they have on their website. We identified in the first month we started working with them. It's still on their website
It's still
because
on. I told
we
you.
can't
Yeah.
get someone to prioritize fixing it.
Yeah. So, and it's been like 10 years, you reckon?
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think they're finally going to fix it because they've decided to migrate to an entire new content management system over the
yeah.
next year. So I
Yeah.
think that will force them to, it's not like they're fixing it. It's going to make them fix it because they're changing all their URLs and things like that.
True. That's very true about it. So when it comes to working with the multi-location brands, what kind of things or the key elements you actually try to look into those location pages? And that, like, okay, these are the kind of things which should be on the location pages, which can really help to actually rank better in SERPs.
So we started with a baseline, right? What's the basics that you need to have it functional, both for customers and for SEO?
Mhm.
And the functional baseline is, okay, it just needs to have your name, address, and phone number on it. it needs to have you need to have um, an HTML directory or an HTML sitemap. So in the US case, it would be like you click on find a location. You click on that and you've got a page of here's all our states. So California,
Yep.
New York.
Yep.
And then you click on California, here's all the cities in California. And then you click on a city and here are the locations in that city. And then you click on a location, right?
Yes.
That's like table stakes for an SEO store locator. And
Yep.
then things you can do to make them better would be in no particular order. You should have links to your category pages. Be that if you're e-commerce, it would be links to your whatever you sell.
To the collection pages.
Yeah, if you're a service, it'd be links to your service pages, that kind of thing. Like we do teeth whitening if we're a dentist. You should have ideally local imagery, so pictures and videos from your location on that. Most sites can't do that. It's just too much work, but that helps. If you have customer reviews from, say, Google,
Yep.
for that location, you'd want to put those on it.
Yep.
You want to have all the structured data that's relevant. So
That location.
local business schema. If you have events, you'd have them a list of events, event schema, things like that. There's like an infinite number of things you can put on a location page. Link, if you have a lot of locations, links to nearby locations would be great. That's two good reasons for that. One is, let's say you have 1,000 locations. It's hard for Google to get to all those on your site. So you're linking internally from all these like endpoints to get Google there. And it also, the text of the link or the city name or whatever adds a little more SEO to your location page that's linking to them.
So you mean when we are linking from one page to the nearby area, the anchor text should be the location, the city name itself.
Yeah, or it can be the business name. It's not an exact science. You have to play around with it and go, okay, what's the right? Here's a little extra thing that we like to do if we can get the data. If you sell products, you should have a Google Merchant Center account and have a feed in Google Merchant Center. And the reason why that's helpful is you can see which products are most popular that are connected to your Google business profiles. They show the product attached to the Google business profile. And it'll show impressions and click-through rate. And so you can see, oh, wow, I sell product A and product B, and product A gets the most click-through rate.
Yes.
So that's the hint that people are interested in product A from me. And so if you put a promotion for product A at the top of your location page, that's going to convert at a much higher rate. Because typically I'll click to your location and I have to now go to your homepage to search or search bar to find a product versus just clicking on a promotion, right? So anyhow, and then probably the last major thing to play around with is actual content on the page, written content usually, but video content too. We're actually playing around with a new format right now that has what we call real-time SEO, or at least I call it that. And the idea is we know that Google likes pages that are updated frequently. They treat them like news sites, kind of. So they come back more often. They tend to rank better. And so we're trying to think of what relevant data we can add to a client's location page to regularly refresh. And there's two different strategies we're going with. One is just data. So as an example, we're going to do this on our own website. We'll be targeting a city, say New Delhi. So let's say we create I'm going to do this tomorrow so we can outrank you. We'll be like New Delhi SEO company. And what we might put on that page is the pay-per-click prices for different keywords in New Delhi. And those change all the time, right? So it might be like New Delhi plumber, 25 rupees or whatever it is, and New Delhi lawyer, and we can change that every week. So should find something like that, and then we're also working with the copy and trying to create a way to kind of rotate copy
Yep.
so that we can constantly be changing the copy.
Yep.
Which is trickier because there's only so many ways you can say, hey, we're a lawyer in New Delhi.
Yep.
And we don't want to just change the order of the words. That's kind of not helpful.
I completely agree to that, because dynamic content is really, really helping out these days. In fact, I'm doing a lot of testing on the dynamic content as well, where we are just pushing out the content from the Google Sheet itself, because it is so much easy, especially with the AI, to actually update the content and then push the content in real time using placeholders and that kind of things in the actual pages. And they are actually working as well. I can literally see the moment when we make the changes, it reflects some kind of changes in the rankings as well. It could be upside down, and at the same time,
we see anytime we update content, if it's done correctly, you
Yep.
get a boost.
Yeah, you get a boost. Sometimes there is a bit of a decline as well, but yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
What about the duplicate content, you reckon? So local SEO, there is a kind of a myth in the industry where they say, okay, you can use duplicate content as well, and it really doesn't matter, which up to some extent I've seen maybe it work, but what's your thoughts about it?
So it's totally case dependent, and I'll give you some examples. So like I said, the baseline is you should just have a page with your name, address, and phone number. Maybe the next level up is you should create a copy block on your location pages that says, hey, we're the greatest plumber in New Delhi, or
Yep.
and then you insert the city name there and you change it for every city, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same copy except for the city name. That's the cheapest, fastest, easiest way to add content to your
Yep.
location page. It just costs you how much does it cost to write a paragraph and then to implement cut and paste.
Yep.
And so we've seen that work really well. Like it totally worked really well. We've also seen where
Even the images as well.
We've seen it where it limits the site's upside.
Yep.
Meaning like they get to a certain point and they stop. And then when we update the pages to be unique, we suddenly see they go up again.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say that's a great way to get started if you're in a hurry,
Yep.
but ultimately we want to make it unique. But
yeah. And
maybe it's fine the way it is.
And do you reckon that the updating the images as such on the page doesn't really bring any kind of effect as well?
It's weird. I can't prove this, but we were working with a truck driving school, like get a truck driving license.
Yep.
And on their location pages, we noticed their competitors who were doing better than them had pictures of trucks. And they didn't. So we said, hey, put a picture of a truck on your location page. We did it, and I can't tell because it was a truck or we just updated the page, but they started improving.
Google, it's easy for Google to actually scan the image and try to understand like what it is all about. In fact, there is a page, I don't really remember the URL, where you can actually upload the image and can tell you what the image is all about. So do you think like
it's called the Vision API.
Yeah, images, changing the images also, I guess, can bring in some kind of effect. I don't know, maybe I've never tried to actually test this thing particularly, but how about you?
Yeah, so we've tested it. But testing, as you probably know, testing is kind of hard in SEO because there's so many variables. So let's say I change the images and I see an increase. I'd be like, aha, it's images. But then I'll do that to another site and I'll see nothing because I don't know. And so one of the challenges we have with SEO is a large percentage of it is, oh, I know we should do this. But another large percentage of it is, I have a theory and I think we should try this, but I have no way of validating the theory other than like I said, if it works on one, it may not work on another. And so SEO is just a constant case of throwing things against the wall that we think are going to work and seeing what happens and trying to do that in a way that's predictable and scalable, which is really hard.
True. Now, and how about the GBPs? Do you think like for multi-location when it comes to, because a lot of I know a lot of dentists, roofers, they usually have a lot of location places. So in that particular case, what is really working for you in for GBPs for the map app rankings?
So
Any kind of particular strategy? Because see,
most
everyone knows that they need to go optimize the GBP, add the services, add the attributes, that kind of things. But is there any particular kind of a strategy which you tried and you think like it's really worked for you?
so most Google Business Profile work is not like how do I make it better
Yep,
or how do I optimize it. Most of it is how do I solve a problem,
yep,
right? It's not the basic, as you just said, it's not very complicated to optimize your Google Business Profile.
yep.
Just fill out all the things they ask you to do, right?
Right.
It's when there's a problem, which is, I don't know, why is it behaving that way? I don't understand. Like what, that's what we deal with a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, the positive things that we tend to do is changing the categories can have a big effect, or changing this, adding or changing the services. So as an example, we work with a chain of of uh, uh, I guess they're animal hospitals is
Mm,
what you would call them.
right, yeah.
And I had a theory and I said, you know what? Animal hospital seems very niche. Like my dog's, I don't know, got hurt. I need to take him to an animal hospital, right?
Yep.
Uh, but I think most people are like, my dog is sick. I need to take them to a veterinarian, at least in the
Yep.
US. That's how. And so I said, what would happen if we changed the primary category from animal hospital to veterinarian? We did it for 20 locations and we saw an increase.
Mm.
Um, and then we added some more categories and services and we saw an increase in impressions. So I think you need to test those kinds of
Yes,
things.
those kind of rates. Yep.
And then the other thing we see in general that works for GBPs is an active GBP, meaning you're getting reviews regularly, you're adding posts regularly, you're adding photos, you're getting customers to add photos and videos,
Mm.
those kinds of things. And then you need people searching your brand or searching your keywords and clicking on your GBP. And I'll
Yeah.
give you an example. We got called by a lawyer who works nearby in San Francisco. And he said, oh, my leads are way down. I think my rankings are way down. Can you help me? So I said, okay, let's do an audit.
Yeah.
A week before we are about to start the audit, he said, hey, everything's back up. We're having the best week in months. I said, well, what happened? Well, I don't know. All we did was we advertised that we were hiring on Indeed or something like that. And we went into his analytics and search console, and we could see that queries for his business name went like that because everyone who wanted a job in that city was looking at him and clicking on his site.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ask for better proof that
Yeah.
clicking on a GBP matters. And so we were like, okay, there's your strategy. Like, just keep hiring people, and keep having job advertisements, right? And
That's the user interaction. You reckon the more the user interaction actually brings in the kind of
yeah,
affecting.
it's funny. I actually have considered that as part of our service. Is just, oh, we're going to create fake job advertisements for you because it seems to work.
So anyone who's actually putting that kind of jobs, I mean, like how that thing is actually reflecting in the Google search. Because
Because let's say I advertised for a job
for a
in
job.
my,
Yep.
so some percentage of people who saw that job ad and wanted to know more about my company might search my company name and click on my Google Business Profile.
And leave a comment or kind of a
No,
message.
just oh, who are these guys? I want to go
Okay.
to their website or see,
Okay.
like, that's it. Like,
So you
just reach.
reckon that advertising for a job or something gonna happen as a page on the website, and it gonna rank, and the people gonna know more about them, and this is how it really gonna do. I thought like you had
Yeah,
said, like, maybe they're gonna put a post, which they can actually put a post that hey, we are hiring and that kind of thing as a GBP post.
that's fine, but it's more like advertise at a place where someone's going to see it.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people don't see GBP posts. They're only
yeah.
seen if you search for the brand.
Local
Um,
newspapers or something.
and
Yeah.
they're often hidden. So they're almost they can convert really well, but at very small numbers.
Yeah.
So they're
Right.
almost kind of just a nice thing to do,
Yep.
but not a
And
significant part of your strategy.
yeah, and how about the service based businesses, service area businesses, how they can go and increase the geo and prominence signals you reckon for their profile?
So there are only a few ways that we've been able to figure out how to do it in no particular order. You should have either the first easiest thing to do is just mention all the service areas, the cities you service.
Yep.
Just
In the
as an
GBP.
example, we just for an animal hospital, we just put the names of the cities they serve in the footer of their site. And for one or two of them, they instantly went to page 1 of Google for the city name plus veterinarian.
Yep.
Because the homepage was pretty strong. And anyhow, then create a page. So link that footer link to the page. So city name, veterinarian, and interlink those. And then probably you can set a service area in your Google business profile. That seems to be more effective than it used to be.
Yep.
And then lastly, this is the most aggressive one, is we think you, as a service area business, you should be, if you're aggressive, you should create an actual business location at the cities you want to serve. And so what I mean by that is not a fake location. A lot of companies create fake locations.
Fake locations.
I mean, is you go to, let's say you have a business where every customer is worth $1,000 to you in the US. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if let's say I want to set up a business in my city, Pleasanton, I would file a new business registration with the city, which I think costs $100.
Yep.
And then I just every year have to pay taxes on the revenue I generate from that location. Yep. So there's a little work that needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would then set up local citations. So yellow pages listings, that kind of thing.
That particular address.
And then I would try to verify it. So they had $200 for 2 days a week, right?
Yep.
That's a legitimate location.
Yep.
So I would rent that location. I'd spend $200 a month, plus an extra $100 for the registration, and maybe whatever I'm going to pay in taxes, 1% of my revenue in taxes,
yep.
let's say.
Yep.
If I can make more than $1,000 in revenue out of that, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a pretty.
And the problem is most marketers who do that strategy won't go through the trouble of creating a real business.
Yeah.
They'll try to fake it. And I don't think, I think that's too risky. It's complicated, but marketing can be complicated. Like, I'm sorry, you have to do stuff, right? And so we think there's a big business in enabling service area businesses to do this and manage it. But it's complicated.
Yeah. All right. No, that's pretty awesome, actually. That's a very step-by-step process. Especially, I wasn't really doing that footer links so that we can go and put the footer links for the neighboring areas, and we can create we do create a proper landing pages for our clients, but the footer link thing was actually kind of a takeaway from the entire thing.
It doesn't need to be footer links. Just make sure it's linked from the homepage.
To that point.
And it's basically having the words on the homepage, if the homepage is really strong, could make the homepage just immediately rank for that query. Ultimately, you want the location page to rank for that, but that's what we see happen often is the homepage is really strong, and so it improves. And then, the other thing for service area businesses, ideally, you're getting some relevant links from relevant pages on other sites to that area.
To that area, and moreover, the internal links really help as well. And do you guys
but let's say you're going after your service, you're not in New Delhi, but you create a New Delhi page. You want to get links from a site, a URL that says New Delhi on it, right?
Yes. Yeah, and most of the time it's the citations. Basically, when we go and create the citations, it just there is a very good chance that we can actually add the business name, and we can even mention a New Delhi something kind of thing over there, or maybe it's actually coming from that
I,
particular city page. So
yeah, I don't know what it's like in India, but we generally find citations are not very helpful. They don't really move the needle. The only reason we use them is when we're really creating a new business that
yeah,
Google can see, oh, we're verifying that it's
yeah,
this business,
it
this
is.
location with
Yeah,
this phone
yeah.
number and address.
I guess yeah. I guess the only purpose of using the citations these days is just to create some geo signals to the page that hey, this is a legitimate business. It has got listed different places, so maybe
Yeah. Or
smart.
if like let's say in India, if Urban Clap, or is it called Urban Clap still? I don't know. We worked on that like 10 years ago. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
or it's just called Clap now or something.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
uh, if they're showing up in your search results, you should be listed on there, right?
Very true.
And link,
And
I don't know if they link you.
hey, and how about the PR? A lot of people I've seen like they still do the PRs for and put the map embeds and that kind of things. Do you really think the PR links do really help these days to build a kind of a topical and a geo relevancy signals?
I don't think about it um, that deeply.
Yeah,
I think, oh, you're getting publicity for your business.
that's it.
That's got to be good.
Yeah,
And it's much more in general, if you can sustain that over time, it's much more effective than link building
yep, yep,
because you're creating people searching for your name, you're getting links, people are seeing you elsewhere and maybe going, huh, I got to go to that site, right?
yep.
So I think yeah, we do link building, but I hate it as a service because it's so stupid.
Like that's
Like, how do you like telling someone, oh yeah, I got to go out and get you links? It's just
yeah,
it just seems I'm almost embarrassed saying it.
yeah,
And then they say why? And say, well, I can't really tell you why other than Google seems to respect them and count them as votes,
yeah.
but I can't tell you which ones work. I'm confident that over time they work, but I sometimes may spend a lot of money getting you something that's useless.
So you
But
reckon that programmatic SEO still has a kind of a future? All those directories and Yelp kind of sites um, still be good to go ahead and get that good traffic by creating like a mass page builder kind of a sites.
only if they get traffic,
Yeah,
right? If 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 they don't show up in your search results, I'd argue they're useless for you,
yeah, they are
right?
used in that case.
Like we've worked on those kinds of sites for 20 years. That's
Yep,
how I got started, right? I worked on those types of sites.
yep.
Um, we probably worked on more of those types of sites than anyone on the planet, I think. Like a big local business directory site like a
Yeah,
Yelp,
I can imagine.
TripAdvisor,
Like you said,
and
you started doing this one. I'm like back in 2000 and something when you started
three,
with programmatic.
2003.
2002. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
programmatic
so
kind of very new term at that time, I guess.
and what we can see is all these sites are being destroyed now by Google.
Oh yeah.
They've always been they've always been on the decline. For the last 10 years, they've been getting chopped down. But
Oh
now
yeah.
we see as a class, they're getting hammered
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Maybe good for small suburbs, maybe small counties or so. But yeah, for heavy big sites, we actually need a proper legitimate site with a proper legitimate location, GBPs, and then have to work seriously on that one.
oh, I forgot to tell you your audience the real secret sauce.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, I totally spaced it out.
I'm all here. Yeah.
This is gold. Okay, write this down, everyone.
Yep.
Remember it. So there's two there. So one of the ways we optimize pages for ranking is we look at what's already ranking and we try to copy it and do better, right?
Yep.
So if you think about, I'm trying to rank for a keyword like I don't know, how do I make coffee,
Yep.
right? You look at the top ranking URLs for that. You say,
Great.
oh, they have a list and they 1, 2, 3, and they have pictures and videos. So you try to do that, right? It's the same for these local search queries. You look at the results. if Google's showing, let's say for best plumbers in New Delhi, let's say it's showing 7 local plumber sites and
Yep.
3 directory sites like Yelp
Yep.
or
Yep.
Urban Clap or whatever.
Yep.
Well, it's a suggestion that Google really wants to show lists to people, right? People like lists to pick from. And it's showing you who it thinks the best plumbers in New Delhi are in the search results.
Yep.
So you've got your location page for New Delhi plumber on your site. And now you write all your stuff. Hey, we're the best plumber in New Delhi. Come and hire us. These are all the things we do.
Yep.
At the bottom of your page, right? Make it so no one's going to see it, but no one's going to go to the bottom of your page anyway.
Maybe hide it behind the CSS.
No, don't hide it. Just be like, hey, ignore all this stuff. It's not for you. This is for Google. Just say, this is for SEO.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't read it. And you say, if you're looking for the best plumber, great, but we also recommend these guys as the top 10 plumbers in New Delhi. And then list the businesses you see on page 1 of Google.
Yeah. Take a mix of
I can tell you.
Do that.
Yeah. So we have, I have pages on my site that use this technique. We would go the minute, let's say I created that New Delhi page on our site. 3 months ago, I was ranking on page 2 of Google for best plumbers in New Delhi. I did that technique. Within 24 hours, I was number 4 on page 1.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, I was number 1 on page 1.
Yep.
It's stupid, but it works. It won't work every time. But
we just need to add it in a more intelligent way, how we can actually add and list it out those people. But I get your point. Your point says like it is really very important, like to go and ask Google that, hey, what else I can add to my pages? What else they are showing, and what those kind of elements maybe in the pages we can try to show it as well. Because this is the algorithm is trying to filter out that, hey, for this query, this is what kind of stuff I want to show it in the results.
I think 75% of SEO is best practices. Do the right thing. Make it a good site. Target these keywords. 25% of SEO is ridiculous stuff like this. Like I know you don't want to put your competitors on your page, but I'm telling you, if you do it, you might make a lot of money. And so hold your nose while you do it. It's one of the things when we work with clients, we're very pragmatic and transparent. We're like, look, you have these options. The most aggressive option is it's got a high risk, high reward. Do you want to do that? We recommend it, but we understand if you don't want to, you're not comfortable. And most clients want to be in here in the middle. But we're like, but then, 6 months later, they're like, why aren't we making a lot of money? And we're like, remember when we told you to do this stupid thing? We don't make the rules, right?
True. No, I agree to this. Like, we just need to stick to the basics, because no matter it was 2002 or no matter it is 2024, I think the basics hasn't been changed, because it is all about interactions.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is stick to the basics, but then understand what your options are to go beyond the basics when the basics don't work.
Exactly. No, that was super cool, man. Let's do some Mythbusters, and we're gonna close it off this podcast because there is a lot of value. So one of this one is schema is a ranking factor. Do you think it's a myth or it's a fact?
Myth.
Do you reckon it's a myth?
Yeah, it's we've implemented schema on millions of pages. Actually, that's being too hard. It's not a myth. It's like I wouldn't count on it to change your life. It might in some cases when we've used it to fix a problem. As an example, Google, let's say you've got a parent company called, I don't know, Rohan's company. And then you've got a subsidiary company called Andrew's company. And when people search for Andrew's company, it shows Rohan's company. Well, then you can use schema to say, hey, wait a minute. Andrew's company is a subsidiary of Rohan's company. You've got to get it right. And it'll eventually get it right. So we like it for that kind of thing.
It
But
can mislead as well.
yeah, but I can say like I've heard a lot of people going, "Oh, schema changed our lives." I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
People do
I've
have proper courses on the schema, I've seen.
we've
And yeah.
I've even consulted with a company that has a product called Schema that they sell, which is
Yep.
they'll create it's like a XML feed and they update your schema all the time, which
All
is great, really good. But I'm like, okay, show me a case study where I grew
actually
my
work.
traffic by 10% when you did that, and they can't.
Yeah, no. So how about core web vitals? Do you really think that core web vitals they really do improve the rankings as well by fixing up all those kind of like a core web vitals, having a very good
I think
scope?
it's like schema. I
It
think
is.
it's like schema. It's
Yeah,
that
just
I
a different.
can't directly correlate implementation to success.
Oh yeah.
So what might happen, just like with schema, you might implement it, and a year later, an algorithm might make you go like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Might have been because of that thing you did a year ago, but it's
Yeah.
impossible to.
It's impossible to prove. No valid results as such. And just
It's
a very final thing. A lot of people do scream about, hey, AI content is shit. We should not be using the AI content on our web pages at all. What's your thought about it? Do you really think it's a myth or it's a fact?
it's a myth. We use AI content
It works
not
great.
all the time, but we
Yeah,
use it and it works.
yeah,
The the difference is we recommend using it on templated pages like location pages. So
yes.
we've built a tool inside our company to basically create AI location pages. And it's not like we're trying to create fake stuff. We're just trying to create
Quicker,
inexpensively
inexpensive.
unique like ways to populate location page content.
Mm.
I think it gets so we're doing right now a 2,000 location page content production. I can't remember how much it costs, but it's like, under $100 a page to create this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a lot more easy.
Um,
Yep.
uh, when it comes to like copy for articles, like where you're, hey, how to make coffee or something,
Yep.
uh, I think it's fine to use AI to get started, but just like with our location page things, you need a human editor
Yes.
you can't just, we've done tests where we just put up AI content without any editorial stuff and it doesn't
And
seem to
that's
work.
Andrew, I believe the same too. It's all about like garbage in is garbage out. If we are not really putting in the time and effort to actually use the AI content properly, then of course it's a shit. It's a garbage. But if we are putting up a right kind of prompt, educating the AI properly that what we really need, and then we are humanizing that particular thing, then yes, AI content really proves really well as well. And it is
Yeah, the challenge
expensive.
is that when you have to humanize content at that it's really hard to scale it. And so the
It is hard.
cost savings you get from using AI go out the door because now I have to pay an editor to
Editor.
read everything, rewrite it, that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
No, that's true. Mm, that was an exciting 50 minutes of the session, Andrew. That was really good. So anyone who really wants to know more about you, want to read your stuff, your blogs, or even LinkedIn, which one is a better place? Are you on
Well,
LinkedIn?
you can go to our site, localseoguide.com. I tend to post stuff on LinkedIn
Yep,
often
yep,
and Twitter,
yep.
um, and now Threads. Uh,
Right.
and then occasionally I write for Search Engine Land or Search Engine Journal. I just started writing for locology.com. It's a multi-location business newsletter. Um, I'm probably going to write something for Bright Local soon.
Yep. Right,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Local SEO Guide and LinkedIn at Andrew Shotland. And feel
No
free
worries.
to connect me or DM me or right.
I can put your LinkedIn profile and local SEO guide and some other links on the video description once the video goes live. But no,
Okay.
that's really exciting stuff. There was
All right.
actually actionable stuff, I would say. The one which you spared, it wasn't really a theoretical part. It was like more about step by step, how we need to go about it, how we need to go and rank the GBPs, what kind of missing things can be added as well, and especially location pages. The location pages are really important. A lot of people, they just go and neglect it completely. So these
Yeah.
kind of things are really very important, which can actually make a big difference in the rankings and have a long sustainable results as well.
Yeah. There's actually, if you go, I'll send it to you. There's an article I wrote recently about how to decide whether or not to create local service pages.
Yep.
It's actually a kind of an important thing to think through when you're creating a lot of location pages. So
Sure.
I'll share that with
We're
you.
on LinkedIn. I'll send you the connect request anyways. No,
Okay.
thanks for that, Andrew. I really appreciate the
All right.
time you have given today. So it was really a privilege to have you on the show. And yeah, definitely be in touch with you. We're gonna read your stuff as well. And
Awesome.
great. Thanks for that.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ron. Bye.